Alex with bfVintage. We are here today at a Goodwill in Phoenix, Arizona. This one's actually over by Lisa's house, and I've got her here with me to help me do some treasure hunting and see if we can find some goodies for my Etsy store, BF Treasures Co. So let's do it, friends. Hey friends, it's Alex from the future, and I have a message for you. I've been having a recurring thought that it might be time to do a live sale on YouTube. With that said, I could use your help. So if a live sale is something that you'd be interested in, please leave me a comment. Thanks, friends. Going to find some treasures. Yes. Here we go.
Okay, friends. So at first I was a little nervous because the shelves looked a little bit empty, but then we just started digging around, and the first thing I noticed was this art glass fish or marlin. I'm not 100% sure what you might call that, but it was gorgeous. I mean, look at the quality of that. You can see, you know, almost like rainbow prisms because the quality's so good. So I was just checking to see if there was any markings, and as it turned out, there was a signature of the artist who had made this art glass piece. So that was exciting. Couldn't quite make out the name. I think it might have said Stridon. I don't know. But I at first was like, I wonder if the subject matter would be something people would be interested in. But in any case, I was convinced because of the quality. And even now, once I've gotten it home, I've cleaned it, and it looks even more clear and stunning. So yeah, that one definitely had to go home with me. And I was just trying to make sure that there weren't any chips or flaws, because I was just so surprised that it was there. And I was very happy that he was coming home with me. That's why I made him do a little jig. So there he goes. And next I saw this figurine. I thought maybe it could be a Hummel, but it didn't have any markings, so it was likely a Hummel knockoff. So I kept looking, and then I found a Chokin trinket dish. I am a sucker for these. I just think that they're very elegant. They're high quality. This one obviously is made with 24 karat gold. I like the subject matter of the swans, especially with it being springtime. I have another one in my shop that has a peacock on it right now. And I've sold a black and gold one before as well that actually didn't have anything decorative on the top. But anyways, this is me checking for chips, to make sure that it's in good condition, and good for me it was. And so yeah, I decided that this one would have to come with me and go in the Etsy store. So yeah, I guess now I will have two in the shop. So we're off to a good start, even though the shelves looked a little empty. And then I saw this darling little baby girl. She's just crawling around, and she's cute as a button. She did have a sticker that said made in Taiwan. We were trying to figure out if maybe there was a sticker under that, but when we were trying to peel it off, the whole thing just kind of started to deteriorate. So we decided to back out of that because we didn't want to damage the sticker. And she's got her little booty hanging out, which is just so cute. So I was just inspecting her for damage. The other thing that I really loved about her is her eyes. They just had this, like, almost like they had done an extra type of painting to them to make them glisten. And so I thought that made it really special. And also just the detail of the, you know, the lips and the cheeks and the eyelashes. And it was just darling. So she had to come into the cart. The next thing that I saw was this ceramic fan box, and I could tell it was vintage. I liked the butterflies and the florals. I was checking for chips to see if there's any damage, and it turns out that it is an Avon product from 1980, And it is made in Japan, as you can see here, but I just don't really tend to go for the Avon products as much unless they're really, really unique. So I moved on. Then I found this piece of California pottery and I got really excited because it just looked like a really unique shape of jewelry box of some kind, but I did get a little bit nervous that there might be some chips. And then, of course, Eagle Eye Lisa caught it right away. She saw them right there on the edges of the lid. And, at first I thought, well, why don't we open it up and see if there's any chips on the inside? But before I could even get that far, she had already spotted some on the outside. So, unfortunately, with as beautiful as that piece was, I had to leave it behind. And then we found, well, Lisa was claiming that these were chickens, but they're not chickens. They have the little gobbledygook thing under the neck, which makes them turkeys. So she doesn't win the game today. This piece was from Enesco, and I think it was actually from the 90s. So even though it was still vintage, and it was a music box. It played music as it tilted. I decided to pass. And the next thing I found was this ring dish holder, and it was in this really beautiful light pastel blue, like robin's egg blue, and it just looked vintage to me. It had that quality about it. So I was checking for chips. I was looking for cracks. I was also just trying to make sure that it was in fact vintage and that it wasn't something that was made to look vintage. And I was a little worried because when I looked at the bottom, it seemed like most of it looked clear except for the middle part, but I think it was somewhat of an illusion. So that's why it was a little perplexing, and we were examining it in detail just to determine if it was worth the risk. And, ultimately, I felt like the quality was there. It was only 99 cents. So even if it ended up not being vintage, I was willing to take the risk. And so, yeah, we ended up putting it in the cart, and I am going to research it more later. Then we moved on, and I found this acorn, which was from the International Silver Company. It said it was silver plated. It did say made in China, but I was still interested until I opened it up and noticed that there was some glue or something. Maybe there was something that used to be glued inside of it that's since fallen out. So unfortunately, I did have to pass on that. And so I put it back. And then I saw this silver shell, which looked like it was for candle holders. And I'm kind of regretting not getting it now because even though it looked like there may have been a piece missing in the back there, I believe there are two different types of these. Some of them are like this one, and others do have a piece in the back for another candle. So anyways, you live and learn. And so next I found this very mid-century modern pitcher, and I really love the gold. But I was concerned about the tape on the bottom. It does say Japan on the bottom there. And for $5.50, I just wasn't entirely sure that it would be good for the purposes of reselling. So I did leave that one behind as well. And the next thing I spotted was basically this, what's like old school Tupperware. This is kind of the Tupperware they used to use instead of plastic. So it would be glass. And even though I really liked the details of the vegetables on the top there, I felt like the colored ones tend to go for, a bit more. So I did go ahead and pass on that too. And then I saw this little box and I got excited because it looked like it might be otagari. And I really liked the color. Now it's not leather, it's plastic, but I still think it's in really, really good condition. I love the shine of it. The sticker says handcrafted otagari, original Japan. And so I thought it would make a great trinket box. And so for that reason, also given that it was only $3.50, I decided to put it in the cart to put in my shop. Don't you just love that red, deep red color? Anyways, this one was tricky. So at first, from far away, I thought maybe it could be Czech Bohemian glass, but it was very lightweight when we picked it up, and the bottom of it had some of the paint or whatever peeling. So that's definitely not hand blown, and it was probably flash of some kind, made with a mold potentially. So we had to put that back, but it was very curious. And then I found this pink glass vase. Now, at first I was drawn to it because I thought, oh, this kind of reminds me of the Depression glass Art Deco vase that I had gotten before, only in blue. Obviously, this one's a different shape, but it had the vibe to it. But we really think that it's probably FTD, and it did appear to have a modern sticker at one point on the bottom. So for those reasons, we ended up moving on. And Lisa found the chicken today, so she wins for now. The next thing I found was this rainbow abacus. And this is another one of those ones I'm kicking myself for, because I do think that this one had some worth to it. And I just was concerned that it might be too modern. And I should go with my gut, because I was really wanting to get that one. Because even though it's modern, when they have high quality like that, I can always sell it on my eBay store. Next, I found this tile art piece made in New Zealand. The birds are called pukeko, I believe. And yeah, this was really exciting because it was so unique. Obviously, the birds are really interesting looking, and there were no chips on the tile. It was framed. You have this artist signature on the back and the sticker. So that was going in the cart. And then next we saw these mid-century mushroom serving trays, and there were two. There was one that was floral, but that one was beat up. But I actually love anything with mushrooms on them. I think they're adorable. They give me, the Alice in Wonderland vibes. And so I was really excited to find two that were pretty much matching. And, they look like they might need a little bit of wood oil. There is some age to them, a little bit of scuffs on the corners. But the where the art is in the middle is in great condition. Overall, I think they're in good condition given their age, probably the 50s or 60s. So I decided to get the two mushroom ones because I just think they were adorable. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to keep one and sell one or sell both, because I just think they're so cute. But we'll see what I end up deciding to do. So there it goes into our cart, along with our other goodies. Both of them, of course. And then this one I was just checking. I thought maybe I saw some damage, but it ended up just being sequins from who knows what. And then I noticed that the back of it definitely was going to need some wood oil, but the wood oil should shine that right up. So no worries there. And so the second one then went into the cart. Next, I moved on to the casserole dish area. Now, a lot of the stuff that I was picking up was Anchor Hocking and not Pyrex. I'm still working on learning more about Pyrex, and honestly, I don't really see it very often. Some of the ones I might find are the clear glass ones. So I don't know. And then I found these and I thought, oh, cool, it's a set here. But they were really expensive, guys. The small one was $30 and the big one was $50. Now, yes, it is Corningware, but I just felt like that was a lot given what they were. So there was definitely no room for me as a reseller to pick those up. Now, the next thing I found was really odd. So, I'm a sucker for brass. And this was a cross, which I thought was really, really cool. But then it had the skull and crossbones on the bottom, which really threw me off. I didn't know if this was a prop or what. And when I looked at the bottom, I could see that it didn't have the sandy texture that we often see with vintage or antique brass. So for that reason, I could tell it was much more modern, and I just wasn't sure if someone would be interested in purchasing that type of item. So I did leave it behind. Next, I found this art glass. Well, I was going to call it a vase, but there's you can't actually, the top of it is closed. So I don't know if you just put the flowers on in the sides. But it was a little bit more lower quality. So I did pass on that. And then I saw this sugar bowl. I had actually seen a teapot earlier that matched this, but it had a crack in it. So I ended up passing on that one as well. But then I spotted this really cool pitcher that had this gold detail to it, and I couldn't tell if it was a pewter lid. I was really excited because it looked so unique. And it was kind of strange in a good way. But then there was this big, huge crack. Oh, it broke my heart. My heart is cracking just like this piece is cracking. So I did end up passing on that. And I had to move on and, dry my eyes from the pain. I'm just kidding. So I was looking through some of the teacups here, not really finding anything in the bowls section, but then I see the gold here. Oh my goodness, do you see that, guys? It looks like it's Limoges from France, and I think these guys can be kind of hit or miss. Some of them are worth some money and some of them aren't. Now, because of the detail of this one with the bright gold, it kind of reminded me of this piece that I have for sale that's actually from marked Nippon on the back. Now this one obviously isn't from there, but just the gold and the florals just gave me the same feeling. So I'm not sure if this one's vintage or antique, and for the price, I was definitely going to take the chance. Now this one also ended up being Limoges, but it seemed more like a plate that was likely part of an entire set. It didn't look like a serving plate of any kind. And so for that reason, I did decide to pass, and maybe I shouldn't have because it was so pretty, but I couldn't help myself. I just had to make a decision. And then here's Lisa getting drunk while we're there. No, just kidding. So we moved on to the glassware, and I got excited by the color of this martini glass and also the lines of it. It looked very art deco to me. Oh, but then we see it's a modern sticker. Now it is Mikasa, which is likely why I was drawn to it. It had some quality, but it was made to look vintage when it's not vintage. So you guys got me. Dang it. So I continued to look through the glassware, was drawn to these little cactus glasses, but then I found these champagne flutes, and they're gorgeous. They're in that elongated mid-century sleek shape, and also they had the etchings on them, which I believe had like grapes and flowers, and they were just really pretty. Now there were a few little chip bites on them. Flea bites, sorry. A few little flea bites on them. But they were still just really pretty, and for the price, I decided to take a chance. Next, we moved on, and I was so excited to find this old poster. It looked like it was for a movie. At first, I thought maybe it was Gone with the Wind, but it wasn't, and it was so disappointing to see this tear because it did say that it was from 1937, and it said Radio Pictures. I really wish that it hadn't had that tear. It's so sad because it was gorgeous, and that would look really nice in a frame on the wall. But what can you do? You have to move on. So we did. And then, of course, I spot the only gold purse hanging on the rack. And this one, I liked the way it opened. Just the mechanism of it was nice, but it did say exclusive for Bueno, made in China. So for that reason, I wasn't really interested because I don't believe it to be vintage. And then I found this hand mirror. It has a mirror inside a mirror, and it does say made in Hong Kong. So that was exciting because I don't know the age of these. I suspect maybe the 70s or the 80s. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. That's just what I got from looking at it. But isn't the gold detail just so pretty? And I believe you could use it to look at the front and the back of your hair, maybe while you're getting ready, if you're trying to see the back. So I was just checking to make sure there wasn't any major damage. There obviously was some scratches, but that's to be expected with an item that's plastic like this. So I wasn't mad about it. And I did ultimately decide to go ahead and get it and put it in the basket. We done did good today. Check it out. Yeah.
All right, so I think we did well yet again. If I do say so myself. I really liked the mid-century wooden mushroom trays. I mean, those are cool, you know?
So sweet.
Right? And they
They're
were
so
in really good condition.
Beautiful.
And I hadn't really seen a design like that before with mushrooms.
Not
so
a tray.
very
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland, you know? So, hey, thanks for hanging out with us. And if you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos, then please hit subscribe. Until next time, friends. Bye.